Well, bless the Lord, brothers and sisters. So happy to be back yet again. I thank God for you and you tuning in. A lot to cover today. I pray that you're doing well. I pray that you are in the will of God and you have time to worship and honor God. Oh, yeah, that's the premise of this message. But overall, I want to pose a question to you. Can you really handle the truth? Can you handle the truth? Okay, once you get past the tone or the delivery or the color of the person's skin or their size or their weight or their status or this or that, if they were telling you the absolute truth, could you handle it? I'm going to say it again. Case in point, you may have a pastor that his delivery is raw, a little loud at times, a little brass at times. Not your traditional fuzzy, wuzzy, cotton candy type delivery. You know, like other pastors that make you feel good, rub you down, and make you feel all fuzzy inside. No, you may have a pastor that's raw in your face, make you think and make you ponder and question your own motives, hold you accountable, and just get right into your business and interrupt your way of doing things. But you may say, they're rude, they're obnoxious, they're judging this or that. But the truth is, what they're saying is the truth. Can you handle it? Can you honestly handle the truth? The truth of the matter is, brothers and sisters, I believe that 90% of the people in the world, maybe I'm stretching it just a bit, but the majority of humanity, okay, whether you're telling them the absolute truth, they would rather a fuzzy lie than the hardcore stone truth. I'm going to say it again. People would rather be lied to in a nice, sweet, fuzzy, charming way than to be told the stone cold truth. And you know why that is, brothers and sisters? You know why that is? Because they've been lied to all their lives. Their parents lied to them and told them that there was a Santa Claus or a tooth fairy. They lied to them in their childhood from the very beginning. They told them they could be anything they put their mind to. And that's a lie. Oops! Did I say that? It is a lie. Because the scriptures say that you could do all things through Christ that strengthens you. It never said you could do all things through you, or you could do everything that you put your mind to. You see, brothers and sisters, when you eliminate God and his principles from every equation, you just get hearsay. You just get opinions and perspective. Oh, I'm going to get really, really deep today. Put on your seatbelts. Swallow your humble pill. Put on your thinking caps. Eat your ginger snaps. Oh, we're going to get deep. And I'm telling you the truth. Hear me. This is a truth serum video. If you don't like the truth, if you would prefer a lie, if you like to be told kibbles and bits and all of these tricks, turn off. Mayday, mayday, warning. This is the Samantha Hicks channel. I keep it raw and uncut, and a lot of people can't handle the truth. Can you handle the truth? Brothers and sisters, we're going in. Are you ready? I'm going to start off by saying that I still can't believe that Kevin Samuels passed away. Nah, I can't handle that truth. I can't handle it. But guess what? It don't matter. I'm going to have to handle it. You see, some people out there, brothers and sisters, they say, I can't handle the truth. This, that, and the third. I'm tough. Give it to me straight. Keep it real. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear it. I'm all ears. And when you present the truth to them, they're like, so why you said it like that? What you trying to say? It wasn't well received. And da. Really? But you can dish out everything. But when it's time for you to swallow some truth, you ain't trying to hear all that. I'm going somewhere, brothers and sisters. I'm just laying some foundation right now. Well, it is the truth. My condolences definitely go out to his family. Did I agree with every single thing that Kevin Samuel said? Absolutely not. Did I agree with a lot of things that Kevin Samuel said? Absolutely. A lot of it. Absolutely. Did I appreciate the cussing factor and his opinionatedness regarding plus size women and what men really want and this and that? I didn't agree with everything, but a large majority of the stuff that he said was true. Absolutely, positively true. Now, with that being said, I want to break everything down to you so that you people out there that don't agree with Kevin Samuels and didn't like him, wish he was dead, happy he's dead, dancing on his grave, having a party that he's dead, all the you people out there, right, that didn't take his free counseling or free therapy relationship-wise and took the meat and spit out the bone. All you people, the so-called judgy folks that probably single right now and miserable. I got a word for you. I got a bit of a bone to pick. And mind you, this video is not going to be all about Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul. This video is going to be multifaceted, but it's predicated on truth, okay? So I would say that there was a point in time where I was like, you know what, I'm not listening to this guy anymore because it seems like he's just one-sided on a lot of issues, and it's becoming a ghetto show on a lot of regards. But then I listened to him for a little while. I stopped, and then I came back, and then I stopped, and I came back. Whatever the case was, it was an in and out situation. It wasn't like I was tuned every 5 seconds, but I kind of tried to understand people. And that's one of the things and the reasons why I'm on here is because I'm trying to reach a lot of different people, no matter what their sociological or psychological or whatever status they are in. They need the Lord, period, point blank, and they need salvation, period, point blank. And with that being said, his forum initially, about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, was talking and trying to reach men. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think it was all about women, but it was primarily dealing with the issues or struggles or circumstances or predicaments and advice that he had for grooming men and trying to meet them where they are and make them better and things of that nature. In one shape, way, or form. I guess that was the intent. And then he, of course, talked about women and their issues and relationships and things. So You can't necessarily say he was all, bashing women when initially his whole forum was about men. Now, I want to say this. Hear me clearly. Disclaimer. I'm not saying to go on Kevin Samuel's page because it's a lot of profanity on there. And it's a lot of worldliness. And it's a lot of superficialness on there. Or superficiality. Whatever the case is, okay? And if you are not a person, hear me very clearly because this is very super important, okay? If you're a type of person, right, that is really, really trying to find love, if you're really, really trying to find a wholesome, God-fearing, God-ordained relationship, right, then I don't think that you should be listening to Kevin Samuels in a sense that these are the people you're trying to get. Let me just break down. A lot of stuff that he was talking about, right, had to do with the women who was mostly looking for well-to-do or rich men, right? He wasn't talking or gearing to people who were looking for average $40,000, a year type of men jobs. He was primarily talking to women who were literally lost in their own mind. And that's exactly why I guess I appreciated some of his work, because he kind of brought them back to reality. And the reality was a lot of them was not prepared, not dateable, not marriageable. They had a lot of baggage. They were immature, relationship-wise immature, mentally immature in a lot of ways. And I liked the fact that he brought that to light. That's what I really enjoyed about the message. And a lot of women would say, well, he was this, he was that. No, you were not humble enough to be quiet, listen to the jewels that he was dropping in the message. You were just looking at the tone, or you were just looking at the background, or you were just looking at his status or the ambiance, or you were looking at the directness. See, some people could be very direct with you and truthful, right? And just because their delivery is so direct, you don't like it. You don't want to hear it. You think that they're judgmental or opinionated. You think that they're rude. But no, they're telling you what you need to hear. They're telling you the truth. Because you have this pretentious mind. You're pretending because you've been pretending and lied to all of your life. And it's not until somebody tells you the stone cold truth that you can change. And that's what all these videos is about. I'm trying to keep it 100% real with you and telling you that a lot of people are not going to heaven. You've been lied to. Probably somebody listening to this message right now has this misconception. Once saved, always saved. And God's word says, those who endure to the end shall be saved. Hear me clearly. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot of work to do. We're not done. So if people are telling you, yeah, God loves everybody, God hears everybody's prayer, that's a lie. Listen, I have a news flash for you. If you are living in willful sin, hear me clearly, and not worshiping and obeying God, God is not trying to hear you. God does not hear you. It's scriptural. I will leave the scriptures below. I'm going to say it again. If you know that you are living in willful sin, do you know what willful sin is? I'm going to say it slowly so that you can get it. Willful sin is sin that you know is a sin, and you're doing it anyway. You can pray until the cows come home. God will not hear your prayers. And if he doesn't hear your prayers, he's not answering your prayers. So don't even pray. You heard me. I'm saying it again. Can you hear me? If you are living in willful sin, stop praying because you're wasting your breath. Ooh, ouchie. See, that was the truth. But didn't that sound harsh? It's only harsh to a person who's living in la la land. And this is what I'm trying to tell you all out there, whether it be a deliverance or delivery from Kevin Samuels that just hurt you too hard. These sisters out there don't even realize that y'all was getting a lot of y'all some free game. Oh, I'm getting started now. Prideful. You think you all of that. You think you a bag of chips. You've been living a lie most of your life. You thought you was all that because you got a small waist and a big behind. But you're behind mentally. You're behind emotionally. You're behind spiritually. You're behind psychologically. Hear me. You're behind logically. You're behind in a lot of ways. That's the truth. Can you handle that? Brothers out there, you ain't above reproach. I'm about to get on y'all too. You think you all of that with your fake chain. You think you all of that with your cubic zirconias. You think you all of that, right? You fake in the front. You are fake in the front. You lying to yourself and you're trying to lie to others. But God sees you. God sees that you're just a little man in a big boy's body. Isn't that the truth? With your low self-esteem and your $20 for your balance in your account. Oh, I'm about to get raw and real. And because you got daddy issues, you haven't come to grips with who you are. You decided to live a lie of falsehood and fakeness, and you decided to live that life. And you've decided what? To settle because you don't want to get help. You don't want to be geared and raised by true men that been there, done that. You want to be raised and geared by superficiality and people who talk nice to you and worship you, but you are really dying inside, brother. You know why? Because you have not surrendered, brother. And when you strip down all that falsehood and be real and be that man that God has ordained you to be, you don't have to fake the front. You don't have to lie. You don't have to make excuses. You could just be that man that God ordained you to be and step into your rightful place. And guess what? Start from nothing and build. And build till you can provide. And provide so you can lead. And lead so that you can leave legacy. Listen, is this some truth sermon for you? But a lot of people don't want to try to hear that. She's judging mental. Why she gotta say it like that? She rude. It's not received well. It's not received well. It's not received well because you may not like the tone. It's not received well because you have your own this and this and that about how the delivery is supposed to be. But when the delivery is predicated on truth, at the end of the day, you can't deny that. You can't deny the truth. A lot of people can't handle the truth, but you can't deny it. Brothers and sisters, where am I going with this? I'm going back to Kevin Samuels for a little bit, and I'm gonna stay there for a little bit, and then I'm gonna warp speed into something else. Follow me. So, back to Kevin Samuels. I was just peeping game. I had to get out of my own head with it. When I first heard Kevin Samuels, I thought it was a comedy show. Then I was like, yo, this guy is deep. I was like, I never heard no realness or rawness. And I gravitate to realness and rawness because I try to be real on my channel. And I just try to be, you know what I mean? I love that. I love the fact that people could just be renegades and trailblazers and don't care what people say and just give it to you raw and uncut. You know why? Because God does that. God does that. God gives it to us real and uncut, whether you like it or not. He told you he's not hearing your prayers if you sinning. And that's real and raw and uncut, whether you like it or not. Follow him or hell. Whether you like it or not, serve him or hell. Whether you like it or not, obey him or hell. Whether you like it or not. That's the truth. That's the truth. Brothers and sisters, why don't y'all like the truth? I tell you why. Because you've been breastfed lies. That's why. From the inception of your conception, you've been breastfed and bred lies. Like the Truman Show. A lot of you guys are living in a fantasy world. And when you hear truth, hardcore, raw in your face truth, you avoid it like the plague. Listen, some of you out there have been so comfortable with lies. When you hear the truth, it's like you being sprayed with roach spray without an exit door in sight. You ever been sprayed? You ever had roach spray? You know how contaminated you, or the first thing you want to do is get some air. You coughing, especially if you're in a project and you got a lot of roaches and stuff like that. You put them bombs in the middle of the floor and you stay in there and you don't exit out and you close those doors and close those windows. There's no escape. Where am I going? I'm going somewhere, man. You know what I'm talking about. You have to embrace truth like you embrace a beautiful newborn baby. You got to love it. You got to take care of it. Why? Because not a lot of people out there are literally telling you the truth. Listen, now I'm going to get to Bible. I think I'm going to get back to Kevin Samuels a little bit, but remember let's get back to Bible. When Moses found out that he was a Hebrew, right? Initially, he was in denial. Like, he went through so many different phases, right? Initially, he was denying. He was like, nah, because I'm balling. I'm living rich, man. Come on now. I got people answering to me. You know what I mean? I'm living in the lap of luxury, right? But there was something called a heart that he had within him, right? And it's something called the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that was literally pulling on him to tell him, listen, this is the truth. You've been lied to all your life, right? And it's one thing that he could not deny was the fact that truth, that very truth, he had to deal with it and handle it, right? So he decided to handle that truth and everything that comes along with it. See, a lot of people don't want to handle the truth because it's a lot that comes along with it. Listen, I'm getting deep now. Accountability comes with truth, right? Doesn't it? Change comes with truth, right? Responsibility comes with truth. Metamorphosis comes with truth. A lot of people don't want to go through that stage of transformation, right? So they avoid it like the plague. If somebody told you that you're at 50, 60 pounds overweight, that you have to do something because it's going to do something detrimental and damaging to your health, that is the truth of the matter. But you can avoid it and say, well, she just judging me. What she know? I'm just big boned. No, you need to lose weight. But why are you saying that? Let's say there's other people that's fatter than me. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you. But wait a minute. Why you got to say it like that? You know what I'm saying? You rude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't receive that. But no, the clock is ticking. And if you keep doing these bad habits, you will die earlier than you anticipated. But what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I can eat scrimps, labs, and lobsters. And you know what I'm saying? I could be okay. You know what I'm saying? I could eat my pork every now and again. It's okay. No. But your cholesterol is exceeding and your high blood pressure. No, but you know what I'm saying? You don't know what I like. You don't know what I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for years. And that's exactly right. See, a lot of people have been lied to for years that they get so comfortable in the lies, they don't want to change. That's the truth of the matter. Kevin Samuels, okay, this is the last Kevin Samuels rant. Kevin Samuels, okay, was so direct and in your face that you didn't handle that truth. You couldn't handle it. You didn't like the delivery. You just judged him the way he looked. Maybe he had extracurricular lifestyle, whatever the case was. You didn't take the meat of the matter, which was this. This is what I took from Kevin Samuels. This is the meat that I took from him, is that a lot of people that are in relationships are delusional. And he basically was saying that in a lot of ways. And no matter how many times and how many videos, I mean, he could have millions of videos and millions of subscribers. A lot of people were not getting it, but yet they kept tuning in. Oh, but they didn't like his delivery, but they kept tuning in. Oh, I didn't like what he said. He rude. Man, if I see him on the street, I'll knock him out. But they kept tuning in. Well, he looked gay. He looked like a fruity tooty jackamoody. But they kept tuning in. Oh, how dare he read me like that? How dare he say this about me? But they kept tuning in. You know why they kept tuning in? You want to know why? The reason why they kept tuning in is because little by little they had to face the truth. Yes, he was rude. Yes, he had a comedic disposition on what he said about thickum women. Yes, that was all rude and everything, like I said, he said I didn't agree with. But there was a lot of truth that he was spitting. It was the truth. Case in point. First of all, if you got 1,000 kids and different baby daddies, you're of age where, you're getting up there, right? You barely make a minimum wage, but you want a 6-figure type of dude. You're delusional. But I'm pretty. You can't, a lot of you women out there, oh, he was just busting it out and I just loved it. I just loved it. A lot of you women out there can't cook, can't take care of your man, can't take care of your kids, a lot of you can't wash your bodies out there thoroughly like you need to, can't brush your teeth, can't take care of yourself, but yet you want this big old Prince Charming, this man with tons of money, and basically worship the floor you work on. Meanwhile, he was saying, man, he was just busting a lot of knowledge. He's like, and again, I'm not saying that everything he said in his every video was true, but a lot of it was real. It was raw, and I loved it. And a lot of women out there, listen to me very carefully. A lot of women out there that have my same disposition are mature, seasoned, okay? Women. They get it. They're not the youngsters out there, women that's just, wet behind their ears and still living at home and still living in fantasy la la land thinking that Prince Charming is going to come. No, they've been through some stuff and they realize that the older you get, you need to be linked up with what you got, whatever what you got, and make it work. Because the truth of the matter is, if you hitting 50, 60, being alone on one income, barely, is not the move. It's not the move. I'm going to say it again. That's some truth serum for you. Take these jewels and run with it. If you women are out there thinking you're going to meet Denzel with tons of money, or these youngsters that's faking in front with these fake gold chains or whatever the case is, if you think you want that, you better get with the guy that has a clue. Yeah, he may not be this or that. Yeah, he may be making $60,000 a year or $50,000 a year. But you put your income together and his income together, and y'all could work something out. Y'all may get the, you know what I'm saying? Y'all may be able to go to a nice restaurant and order the number 2. Listen. Work it out, brothers and sisters. Stop. Listen, ladies. And he was talking about women who had degrees that thought they was all that, but yet they single. Nobody is talking about this. Listen, y'all better rewind the tape and listen to some of his videos. And I'm not, like I said, all of his videos and all of his content, I don't agree with everything. But there's tons of jewels that he would spit regarding relationships, regarding the future, regarding a lot of stuff, man, that people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about these issues, but these issues are there year after year after year. You got divorces, you got bad relationships, you got 20 baby mamas and daddies. You got still people at the same immature disposition. because their formula is not working. Who do you blame? Where did this come from? Where did this mess up come from? Well, I blame my mama. Well, I blame my daddy's pappy. Well, I blame this, and that. No. They may have done stuff, and you may have experienced stuff, but the truth of the matter is, when you stand before when you stand before God, when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, the truth of the matter is, those people in those circumstances is not getting you into heaven or hell. You got to take account for your actions, right? When Moses found out he was a Hebrew Israelite, right? When he found that out, he had to take everything that came with being a Hebrew Israelite. Everything. He had to live like them now. He had to be treated like them now. He had to be stripped of his lifestyle, which was falsehood, which was fake. He was living a fake, pretentious life. It was comfortable. It was cozy, but it was not true. So would you rather live a fake life, or would you rather live a true, real, raw, uncut life? A lot of you out there can't handle that. You want to be lied to. You want to fake the front and all of that stuff. He made a decision that changed his life. And he helped people. He brought people up that was struggling, that was downtrodden. God used him to let his people free, save his people. Eventually, they went their own way. That's the bottom line. You're going to have people that, even though you tell them the truth, for a little while they get it and they do the right thing, but then they stray. Same thing with Kevin Samuels. You take the knowledge and wisdom and you either run with it and do the right thing and use it and examine your life. See, one of the things about Kevin Samuels, he allowed you to examine your life. Strip it bare. Examine your relationships. Examine your motives. Examine your ideology. And a lot of people didn't want to do that. It's too hard to be told, guess what? Because you're overweight and you want this skinny guy with tons of money. It's hard to bust that bubble and let women realize that you're not getting that man. It's hard to tell a woman, guess what? You've been lied to. You can't cook. You can't clean. You can't do much of anything. But yet you want this amazing man and you want to be wifed up and you want to be a wife, but you don't even know how to cook and clean and wash your butt. It's hard to be told that. It's hard to hear that truth. So obviously, a lot of women are not going to like that. There's a lot of women out there who had their degrees, even. On the flip side, they didn't have any kids, but they're up in age, or they're at a stage where they've just been single for a long, long time, but they don't know how to date. But they have all these degrees, but they don't have a man. It's hard to be told that when that's the truth. It's really, really hard to hear someone say or call you out on things that you know is the truth. It's not going to be well received. But if you have a humble heart, and if you want to change and look for the truth and seek out ways that you can change your life, then you listen a little bit. Will you agree with everything he said? No, I don't think that you should agree with everything he said. Because like I said, a lot of stuff he was saying was for a certain people, a certain audience. The people that he was talking to primarily dealt with women who had an ideology. And that ideology is, I want the best of the best. You can't have the best of the best if you're not the best of the best. Do you understand that truth? Is that okay with you to tell you? In my prime, I would have probably thought I was a 10. Huh? But in somebody else's eyes, that can't be true. But in your own world, in your own thinking, the universe between your ears, you think you all of that in a bag of chips. But in somebody else's truth or perception or reality, you're not. Is that okay with you? Whether you're a man or woman, is that okay with you? Knowing that you're really not all that, is that okay with you? See, a lot of people can't get behind the pride. That pride is suffocating you and choking you. Hence this message. The truth of the matter is all of us. Okay, see, now I'm going to quantify it. All of us is just but filthy rags. A lot of us in God's sight. And do you know that term filthy rags? I'm about to give you some hardcore realness. That scripture that was talking about filthy rags, how God saw us, you're like filthy rags. Listen, I'm going to leave that scripture. You know I am. But he was talking about, I'm not sure if he was talking about your truth or something, but he was talking about it's of filthy rags. When you hear that term filthy rags, back in biblical times, that denoted a woman's monthly cycle. That filthy rags meant when women wear, are menstruating, that's a filthy rag, right? So in God's sight, oh man, what is that scripture? I'm going to leave it at the bottom. But what I'm saying is, if somebody considers, if God considers, not somebody, if God considers something that you do as filthy rags and you don't, if you consider what you're doing holy and amazing and acceptable, but in God's sight it's as filthy rags, you shouldn't be proud of that. You shouldn't gloat upon that. You shouldn't think that you're all of that in a bag of chips, because in God's sight, all of us, all of our self-righteousness, I think that's what it had to do with, but I think it was, all of our self-righteousness is but filthy rags in God's sight. So we got a lot of work to do. Can you handle the truth of the matter? See, once you handle the truth, you can do something with the truth. It's not about just hearing the truth and just letting it go and just repeating the same, crazyment or the same bad behaviors. It's about hearing the truth and taking action. No matter what the delivery was, take everything that Kevin Samuel said in terms of the truth of the matter and make a change in your life. Let his legacy, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, take the meat and spit out the bones. Because he made a difference in the years that he was here on YouTube. He had a mission. And whether you think it was a spiritual mission or a fleshly mission or ego mission or whatever the case is, if you move past the cologne, if you move past the candles, I want you to dig deep in what he was saying in terms of the fact that there is a crisis in the land in terms of family and relationships. That is the truth. And once you get past the fluff, and once you get past the pretentiousness, and once you really, really dig deep on what you are dealing with in your marriage or your relationships or your situationships, you'll operate a little bit differently. Because again, he was not only talking about women, he was talking about men. What's Amanda? Oh, I heard a girl in the background. Here we go. What's Amanda? What is you talking about? He was rude. He treated girls with bonnets, badly. He did this. He did that. That's the percentage of him, okay, that I'm not focused on. The focus is, are you making better decisions based on the knowledge you were given, or are you still stuck on stupid in your relationships or in your marriages? That's the bottom line. Have you grown? from what you've learned? Are you still playing a blame game and dancing on his grave? Are you still the same? Because regardless, listen. If he's gone, and I'm still trying to acknowledge the fact, because I still can't believe it, but that just goes to show you, brothers and sisters, life is but a vapor. You better wake up. You better count the cost. You better get in right alignment with God. Listen. How's your walk with God? If God was to take you right now, just like he took Kevin Samuels, right? Are you going to make it? Are you going to sit in front of God and tell him all about what your neighbors did and your friends did? And, I did good. And, what about them? Are you going to have that same disposition? You can't talk about other people. You got to talk about what you've done, with what you've had, and how you've changed, and how you've worshiped, and how you've stayed away from sin and obeyed God and submitted to his will. You have to talk about what you've done despite every landmine or thunderstorm that was in your vicinity. What did you do with what you had? Huh? Whether you rich or poor, fat, skinny, ugly or pretty. Huh? What did you do with what God gave you? And that's the truth. And when you quantify everything and just really, really get the truth out of everything, then you can see things more clearly. It'll make perfect sense. But if you still stuck on, I'm glad he's dead, you're the one that didn't, get anything out of what he was saying. This guy gave you free counseling. This guy gave you free therapy to a lot of people. A lot of people are mentally scarred because what happened as a youngster. Emotionally scarred. Psychologically, physically scarred. This is the free counseling and therapy that a lot of you needed. Seriously. Minus the cussing, minus the pretentiousness, minus, the one-track mind sometimes he had, or this or that, okay? Take the truth of what somebody is saying and utilize that, because I'm telling you the truth, a lot of people out here are not telling truth. They're not telling you the truth. They're telling you what you want to hear, and that's exactly why you're still stuck on stupid and headed for hell. That's exactly why. A lot of you women out there didn't want to hear Kevin Samuels because it hurt you. A lot of women out there didn't want to hear what Kevin Samuels said because it was in your face and raw and uncut, and you didn't want to handle that truth. You didn't want to deal with it. You've been lied to all your life, propped up like this prima donna, and he told you what men really feel about you, and you didn't like it. What men really wanted, and you didn't like it. Some men. Like I said, I didn't say every circumstances and situation he was saying is true. Okay. But one thing I could say is hear me clearly. I'm going to just break it down like this. The majority of the men that are 6 figures and up, okay? Especially if you're dealing with like celebrities and people in the industry, whatever, people who got money and yada, yada, yada. They may not even be celebrities, but people who are in the 1% or upper echelon, right? Do you ever see them with a fat wife? Do you ever see them with a huge and a fat husband or whatever the case is? No, they usually fit because their circles, they're jet setting, they're traveling, they're, the circles that they're around, they have banquets and meetings and stuff. You ever see a lot of people with huge wives that are huge? I mean, huge. No. But, and I'm not saying nothing against fat people because I'm thick, okay? And I'm working on it. But what I'm saying is these women, right? These women were looking for Prince Charming. These Prince Charming men are in a different tax bracket. So if you are size 20, 23 and all the way up, with 3, 4 kids and different day babies' daddies, and you want to be like a princess with these rich men, what Kevin Samuels was saying in a nutshell was, you're not their type. Is that okay with you hearing that? Is that okay with you hearing that? So come down to reality. Get the men that you're going to be, accepted by, which is probably brothers who are making about $40,000 a year or below. Work together, work the relationship, make it work, and deal with that. Because the reality is, hear me clearly, if you got a celebrity guy that's making millions of dollars, right? And he's around all of his celebrity friends, do you really think he's going to have you on his arm when you 3, 4 looking like a linebacker on his arm? That's not reality. See, this is what he was trying to tell a lot of women in his own way. And I've accepted that. I'm a woman that I can accept that because that's the reality of it, right? That's the truth, right? One size does not fit all. That's the truth. One size doesn't even fit most. That's the truth. So if women out there who are not that pretty or plus size or whatever the case is, if you have this mental disorder in your brain and feeling that you, even at your size, can get any man in the world, you're delusional. You're delusional. That's why you should never tell your child you could do and be or anything you put your mind to. You're delusional. You're delusional. What you should say to your child, hear me, I'm going to help you, do the right thing but behind this video. What you should say is, son, daughter, no matter how old they are, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength, who strengthens you, which God will make a miracle happen through him. Not through your strength, not through your abilities, not through your smarts, not through your social economic situation, not because you're rich or poor, or beautiful or not, or fat or skinny. You can do all things through Christ. Through Christ, not through you, through Christ. When you eliminate Christ out of the equation, you messed up. When you eliminate Christ out of your relationship, Christ out of your workout routine, Christ out of your prayer, Christ out of your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, Christ out of your struggles, Christ out of your going through. When you eliminate, I'm about to quantify it. When you eliminate Christ, all you got is little old you. Bless the true and living God.